We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom.
I have 8 pages of handwritten notes here, double-sided, of points I'd like to make about this subject. But in the interest of time, let me just cut right to the chase. I discovered in high school and then in college that not Hispanics, but white teachers, white professors, didn't matter what class it was, in high school, in college, told me America's bad, the U.S. stole the Southwest, basically white people are bad. And then I began to research Machete, La Raza. La Raza means for those in the race, everything. For those outside the race, nothing. And this is from the National Council of La Raza's own website. The term La Raza has its origins in the 20th century Latin American literature and translates to English to mean the people of the race, or according to some scholars, the Hispanic people of the New World. So it is a racial movement, and I saw the signs and the rallies, and one time I got invited down by the Libertarian Longhorns and the Young Conservatives for a Texas Independence Day rally at UT, and I didn't know how political this was. So I went down there to talk about Texas and freedom and the Second Amendment, and people in Aztec outfits were running around. People grabbed the birthday cake, ate it, spit it all over the cake, called me a racist. So I thought, and this was like 14 years ago. I just gotten on air. So I thought, I better research this more. So I learned about the plan of San Diego, the plan to kill all whites above the age of 16, and some plans above the age of 14. I did the research. And then I discovered that the Ford Foundation, the CIA, the federal government had spent billions of dollars in the colleges, in the high schools, trying to make sure that Hispanics don't feel like they're Americans. Because the globalists have got a problem if tens of millions of people in this country who are Hispanic become patriots. And a lot of the culture leans towards that. The only liberation theology there can be is communist or socialist or violent. And you've got all these videos of professors and others we played, you know, where they say racist things about white people, Chicano studies, how they're going to take over, go home pilgrim. There's been all these new videos the last few weeks, illegals marching and burning down a restaurant and attacking 20-plus businesses and attacking police in Arizona, Santa Cruz. And it only makes local news, doesn't make national news. And so this is a problem. And then on Cinco de Mayo, I was sent a trailer for the new film Machete, comes out in September 3rd. And people are in such denial, they're saying this isn't even a real movie coming out September 3rd. And I watched it, and it basically, all the white people are racist, all the white people are evil, they're bad. They set up Machete, who's this federale, to try to kill, and so he agrees, to try to kill a senator who is for controlling the borders, played by Robert De Niro. But it turns out it's the senator in a false flag. That's how much that's gotten into the culture now, trying to stage a killing of himself so that he gets political power. And so then Machete, with armies of illegal aliens, says, we didn't cross the border crossed us, and it shows the Border Patrol people and the gringos getting hacked up with machetes. And on the cover of the movie poster, it says, now he's a brutal savage who must slaughter to stay alive. In fact, zoom in on this for me, guys. And it says Machete. And this is put out by Robert Rodriguez. And the reason that it's so serious is this just dovetails with everything else that's going on. This fits right into the culture. And then I discovered that Fox had got into a bidding war, Fox Studios, 20th Century Fox, and had gotten this away from the Weinsteins, and that they were putting it out. So then Friday, I saw Fox News articles, New York Post articles, you know, with the headline that Robert Rodriguez film, you know, has a message for Arizona, you know, basically violence. And then they pulled those articles, and then over the weekend, I got phone calls from people that work inside Rodriguez's production. They're finishing up Machete right now, and it's star-studded cast. Jessica Alba, Cheech Marin, Robert De Niro, Don Johnson, Steven Seagal, the list goes on and on. And so when we come back, I'm going to break this down. I mean, the problem is I can't really be eloquent about it if I'm in a hurry. I could spend hours on this subject. So why am I concerned about this? We'll explain that on the other side. But a Machete trailer recut to blast Arizona immigration law sparks wild race war fears. Well, we're going to show you what's really happening in America and how it parallels this film. Notice how this is coming out while what's happening in Arizona is unfolding. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
So you've got Lindsay Lohan, you've got Jessica Alba, Robert De Niro, Don Johnson, Cheech Marin. The list goes on and on in this film. And before I even put my video out Sunday morning, we shot it Saturday. Before I ever even covered this, Fox Studios pulled the trailer that they released. Now, why did they pull the trailer? Why are they scouring the web? It already had 3 million views just on one version of it. Because they understand the liability. By having the star of the film, Machete, say, this is a Cinco de Mayo message to Arizona. We're going to play that in a moment. This is now the self-censored trailer. We can play it. It's fair use to document what's happening. When Fox finally realized what had been released, of course, they understood. And they pulled Fox News articles about it. They pulled New York Post articles that are also owned by News Corp because the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. Their film division put the trailer out, and their director, Robert Rodriguez, put it out. And then Fox TV started attacking it, saying this thing looks like it's calling for violence. And again, the white people are the racist. It's got all this stuff in it. It's just terrible. And I was contacted by Hispanic members of the production on Friday. I'd already seen this on, I guess, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever Cinco de Mayo was, when they released it. I was sent it, and I was shocked, but I really didn't know what to say. I didn't get to it, basically. And I was thinking about calling Rodriguez first, to say, is your film really, what is this? Because I know Machete 3 years ago had just been a trailer in another one of his films. But I went and looked it up. It was coming out September 3rd. It is a full-length movie, star-studded, big budget, shot here in Austin, shot at the Capitol, the Texas Capitol, and it's got an anti-immigration, anti-open border senator played by Robert De Niro, and they say, Mexican people are being deported. The quote is, illegal Americans are being deported, and it's hurting all of us. Because of this, the senator must die. And then the star, Machete, who's a federale, they just think he's some guy they picked up off the street. He agrees, we've got to kill the gringo. And he goes to kill the senator, and then they try to kill him to do a false flag. That's actually what the film is whether Rodriguez knows this or not, it's a false flag against Hispanics. And that's why the Hispanic members of his crew that separately contacted me, they didn't know that each other were contacting me. Because I said to the second person, I said, I was just contacted by somebody else. Did you know that? And they said, no. And I said, well, what's in the film? And they said, well, we really can't tell you, but it's what's in the trailer and worse. So I said, what's in the trailer is the film. And they said, yeah, you can look it up in some reviews and articles where you can find out more. But basically, we're concerned about a backlash against Hispanic Americans and that could really cause some serious problems. And I said, what, race war? And they just said, look, one guy didn't say very much. He just said, you need to look into it. And then the other person specifically said, yes, backlash against Hispanics. Basically makes Hispanics look like a bunch of murdering savages. It's going to scare white people. Because, I mean, this is the border we didn't cross the border, it crossed us. And, people with machetes, and Don Johnson saying, I want to get that Mexican, I want to hang him. And Robert De Niro going, look at these cockroaches. Look at these Mexican cockroaches. So it shows the whites as evil. And then they put a trailer out saying this is a message to Arizona, and then it cuts to all the slashing and killing.